जोजल्पा नेपालभाषा टाइम्स या अमेरिका नेवा खलाबला स्वेसना डीपी सकले भाजुमे जुपिन्टा दुनुङलन सियान लस्कु सियानचना जी प्रवीण ताम्राकार व क्यामेरा ग्लेमर फोटोग्राफर भाजु राजीव श्रेष्ठ ठौ जिमसँग झिगु छौ प्रमुख धर्म बुद्ध धर्म याटा चाहिँ गु किसिम अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय रूपमा हना चंगुदु गुको ठाउँ चाहिँ पालना यान चंगुदु अभ्यास यान चंगुदु वहे ख थुइके सिके या लागि जिबी थन मेरील्यान्ड बुद्धिस्ट सेन्टर है गुकी याटा चाहिँ इंटरनेशनल बुद्धिस्ट सेन्टर न धा अनु थन वया चाहिँ जिमस भन्ते उपरत्न महानायक महाथेर भन्ते नापय खलाबला याटा जिबी थन वैसन उडु अठे हे जिमस वस्पोल यूनिवर्सिटी अफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट अफ कोलम्बिया चाहिँ ग्रेजुएसन याना बिजागु ख वस्पोल चाहिँ अमेरिकन यूनिवर्सिटी या बुद्धिस्ट चैप्लेन 1989 निशे आटकन वस्पोल उगु पोस्टे सेवा याना बिजान चंगुदु वस्पोल अठे इंटरनेशनल बुद्धिस्ट कम्युनिटी वाशिंगटन डीसी चाहिँ सल्लाहकार या रूपमा चाहिँ सेवा याना बिजान चंगुदु अठे वस्पोल टेक्सास न निगु बिहार याता स्थापना याना बिजान चंगुदु वस्पोल याता चाहिँ क्यान्डी मेलवत्ता च्याप्टर चाहिँ चीफ जुडिशियरी मंग ढगा चाहिँ ऑनर याना टगुदु अले ओके वस्पोल सेवना याना बिजान चंगुदु वस्पोल यूएस डिप्लोमेट पिन्ट श्रीलंकन भ्यान सेना बिजान चंगुदु अले अठे फरेनर पिन्ट न गाइड याना बिजान चंगुदु स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्ट न वस्पोल चाहिँ मागु सेवा याना बिजान चंगुदु आठौं जिमस वस्पोल याता ठन बिहारे वया ठो बुद्ध धर्म सम्बन्धी न्यस खलाबला याता चाहिँ जिबी ठन वैसन उडु भन्थे वन्दना Thank you very much for accepting our request from Nepalbhasa Times for sitting down for an interview. Before we start, I would like to request Bhante to do chanting, a couple minutes chanting for the peace in the world.
Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidan chattari purisa yugani Atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo anuttaram punyaketang lokasati etena sacca vajjena Patu twang ratanatayang etena sacca vajjena Patu twang ratanatayang etena sacca vajjena Patu twang ratanatayang.
Thank you very much, Bhante. I would like to start now the interview with questions. My first question is, Bhante, what is religion and what is the role of religion in present day world?
Religious is many religious existing in the world, and Buddhism is more than religious. This is a way of life and how to live and peacefully and how to avoid the pain and suffering and dukkha and according to the Four Noble Truth and Eightfold Path we are following our lifestyle. That's the Buddhist life. The religion is more prayer on it. Either Christianity or Muslim or Hindu or any other faith, they praying for the gods or God and asking for help, asking for their problem to dissolve. And Buddhism is more than, beside the staying ritualistic praying, Buddhism is a more practice for the like a meditation, practicing generosity, helping the people, and they are following the precept and building up the more 10 perfection, we call paramita. They're making like a bodhisattva life. They're making more wholesome life, preparing and for the how to live in the peaceful, that kind of thing in the Buddhist way they do it. And more other religious, they asking for the help from the gods or the invisible power, all kind of thing with the religious thing. But the religion and Buddhist is not exactly religion. Buddhist is the way of life and live with the how peacefully and without making disturbing other society. The individually, each person, they're taking care of their precept and they're taking care of their practice. Buddha is their master or teacher. Buddha is not their God. The most of other religious Abrahamic faith, they always the praying for the God. But rather than praying, this Buddhism is more practice.
So in present day world, how much it can help? Like, what is the role it can play? How it could, life can be better with religion?
And all religious very important. The thing is, for the people, everybody need their faith and their religion. And without religion, this life is more miserable. Better to have any of all religions, they're trying to teach the peace and happiness. They're trying to teach the good behavior, civilizing, and so that's why religious is very important. Either whatever religion they believe, either their parents whatever they give into them, or whatever they are educate or learn some, they practice themselves, whatever the one of the so many religions existing in this universe, and whatever you wish to have it, that's a more better than without religion.
Yeah, Bhante has been a Buddhist chaplain in American University for a long time. And what is the young generation mostly ask, and what is their most concern? How do they? What are the most frequent questions they ask? I mean, what is the most? What are they? What is their concern for the young generation?
Praveen, that is a wonderful question you're asking, and twice a week or once a week I meet in our American University students, and we have they like to come and learn meditation. They don't want to learn history or any other faith or religious besides for their classroom necessity, something to make sure they discuss about Buddhism or anthropology or any other faith. But generally they want to live a peaceful life, then giving them the instruction like a walking meditation, insight meditation, sitting meditation, that both kind of meditation, and relevant with the meditation, giving some instruction for them to meditate. And so so many meditation instructors going on everywhere, that like a mantra, like a japa mantra kind of thing, so many things about Mahayana, Tantrayana, other kind of meditation things, but ancient Orthodox traditional Theravada tradition, I'm teaching them what the purpose of the meditation and how to practice it, and how to practice your principles, like basic rules about 5 precepts, and through that, and how to your behavior, verbal, mental, physical behavior.
Bhante, I would like to go. Bhante almost answered my second question. So in general, what is meditation and why is it so important?
Meditation is concentration and mindfully living. Without mindful, easy to happen. Any mistake can be happen, because habitually we do many things, and day-to-day life, mindfulness very important. Cannot to earn mindfulness without meditation, concentration, and morning to the evening, so many things as a student or as the day-to-day people who are working and driving or whatever they do. I try to teach them how to, while they are sleeping, standing, walking, eating, speaking, whatever they do, have to do it mindfully. That's why we practice mind and body coordination. And in order to do that, all our emotion can reduce. For most of people, easy to pop up anger, and that kind of things, meditation very helpful to them to calm down their mind. And someone don't have training their mind, that easy to acting violation. So that's why meditation is very practically helpful for keep up their memory system, and keep up their peaceful living, and the practice meditation, especially Vipassana, Anapanasati meditation, and that breathe about, concentrate through your breathing in and out, and that go more deeply about the reality, what's happening. So that's why meditation is very helpful to them, to training for the good behavior.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bhante. I think that answers my questions about meditation. And in general, when it comes to about religion, most of the religions has prayers. Every religion has prayers, and in Buddhism, when people think of Buddhism, they think more. The first thing comes in mind is it is meditation. So, what is the place of prayers in Buddhism? Like how the prayers works practiced in Buddhism?
We call it the devotional service, and for the we cannot do meditate every time, but meditation is part of our practice. But we do the chanting, and chanting is about we call Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, these triple gems, and we chanting about Buddha, chanting about his teaching, chanting about noble community of the Sangha. So that chanting and offering something in order to offer to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, that is way we can our mind make him more meritorial deed. That very helpful. That called punya karma. That's punya karma we need for, and when we doing wholesome activities, our mind doesn't have negative feeling. We have respect to the Buddha. We have that kind of pay, very helpful, because Buddha is enlightened person, thinking about his great quality, and for that chanting, very helpful, because we, rather than praying, the Buddhists, they do the chanting. Buddhists, they do the devotional service. That is different from the other religious. Buddhists, they do not pray, but they chant.
Chanting. No, that is the difference. Yeah, it is very clear.
Yeah.
Now we are here in the Sri Lankan temple, and Bhante is founder of the temple, and there is a long history of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, going back to before Christ, like 26, and Buddhism has a special privilege in Sri Lankan constitution also, and it is followed by most of Sri Lankans, over 70%. I would like to know something about this, the history of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, and how it became one of the major religion and one of the most followed religion in Sri Lanka.
Very good question. Buddha's birth and enlightenment and passing away, it happened in India. But Sri Lanka is a small island, and Buddhism had a great blessing to the Sri Lanka. And even though when Buddha alive, 3 times, according to Mahavansa history, and 3 times he visited to Sri Lanka. And historically, remarkably, the Sri Lankan Buddhist people celebrate it. And that is the thing. Even Buddha's lifetime he visited, he had the great confidence about Sri Lanka going with the good Buddha Buddha Dhamma. And that branch of the Bodhi tree also Sangamita, Bhikkhuni Sangamita carried to Sri Lanka. And then after this, and language and everything, Pali Bhasa, everything brought to the Sri Lanka, the Venerable Mahinda and rest of the monk. And then they get the good relations with the India Empire. people and Venerable Arita, and they ordain, they carry on the Buddhism, and then Emperor Asoka's time is officially, but unofficially, even the Buddha's living time, he came,
Yeah, that's very
different
interesting.
occasion. That's why the Buddhism is very strongly
People not miss, because it has a big resource and big of knowledge and Buddhism there.
even though in the Buddha's time he visited many places in Sri Lanka, he in Buddha know in the future going to be happen many this is going to be the holy country. He traveled many places, and later on the king's time they recognize it. They build up the many pagodas, temples, and huge pagodas, and all around the island, temple. Especially that called one place called Anuradhapura. That's the first kingdom, and the next kingdom was Polonnaruwa. That also so many Buddhist resources, temples, and Buddhist arts and all kind of thing, ancient temples, and some other monks who live in the Mihintale, some other Arantalav, so many places there, the caves, and some Arahat noble monks used to live that caves, and very simple life, and people practice Buddhism, and the lot of the monks who used to live Timbulagala, and the other north and south, east, everywhere the monks, ancient temple, kings time, they build up time to time monasteries. That's that's all monastic people visiting. And same time landscaping and climate very good, and it's around the ocean. The many visited, they come in to see the temples, as well as learning the Dhamma, as well as still they are coming to learn the meditation. Lucky some of the monks I speak English in Sri Lanka, the foreigners come and they learn Buddhism and practice meditation, and regularly, annually they are coming like that.
Yeah, that's nice, Bhante. As I mentioned in the beginning, that Bhante has established 3 temples in America, and I would like to ask about this Maryland Buddhist Bihar. What is the role this Bihar has played in spreading Buddhism in Washington area?
Yeah, I start this temple 1996, and my teacher called Bhante Gunaratana, he established meditation and Bhavana Society in West Virginia. I have connection with him, and my teacher is 96 years old. He's still teaching and giving guidelines to me. Blessing of his teaching, and I start here because so many diplomats and people who come to the United States and work in the Washington area, they reside here around the Maryland. So many Sri Lankan, not only Sri Lankan, many Southeast Asian people, Thai, Cambodia, Laos, Nepali, and Vietnam and Burmese, so many people, they need to the temple because they used to practice Theravada Buddhism according to their way in back home. When come to the United States, those days, actually 1981, 82, that time I came here, and no temples that much, but people want to practice their regular practice here, then they need for the monks, for the temples. So then for their requirements, I start this small place here. Then many multi-ethnic people come, even the Americans and everybody come learning the Dhamma, practice meditation and offering dana, practicing generosity. And I have Sinhalese class and Sunday school. And once a month we have for adult for the retreat day, like a Purnima day. And we have, that's the thing we Sri Lankan Buddhists used to do in back home for them to hear like their home temple. They come here, they practice, and for their newborn baby time, or for the blessing for the marriage, blessing for the funeral, and kind of a ceremonial time for their even the Independence Day, New Year Day, and Buddha's birthday like Vaisakha Purnima, and all Pacific events. They come in the temple, they celebrate together. That's a very good people working hard and individually. When they come to the temple, they meet each other, their kids crossing each other, they are so happy, they feel like living in the Sri Lanka. That much they confidence and their culture and system and Buddhistic way, and we teach them Dhamma, and they are helping us for the offering dana and whatever request for the monks request for the Chivara Pindapata, Senasana, Gilana Pacha, all kind of things they are providing to the temple, and we teach them the Dhamma, we meditate with them, we practice with them, we enjoy spiritual life with them.
Yeah, I think that's a great contribution, Bhante. By the way, I talked about Sri Lankan, religious attractions. By the way, Nepal is also celebrating Visit Nepal 2020. I just forgot to mention that. My next question is, what is Tripitaka, and what are the major scriptures included in Tripitaka?
And Christianity and Catholic religious, they call Bible and their religious book. The same way we have Buddha's teaching, 45 years, he taught 84,000 topic Buddha taught us, and that thing called Sutra, Abhidhamma, Vinaya. Sutra is a discourses, time to time, place to place Buddha taught, that thing called Sutra. It's Sutra, not only Buddha, Mahakassapa, Mahamoggalayana, Sariputta, or any other saint, they recite some sutra also including, that called Sutra. And Vinaya is monks and nuns' rules and for their behavior, and that kind of teaching in the Vinaya Pitaka. And Abhidhamma is a Buddhist deep teaching called Buddhist psychology, Buddhist philosophical teaching. That are three things we call Tripitaka. That thing at the Sutta Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka, we need the three basket, and the all the 85,000 Buddha's teaching on it, and the temples, even though our temples, we have Sinhalese version and English and Devanagari version. We have it, most of temples they have it. Sometimes some one want to learn and the Pacific Sutra, they have access, they can come. Even though the internet today, there are a lot of things in the internet, and Tripitaka also internet, they can print out, they can learn. And Tripitaka is our Buddha's teaching, and it was in Sri Lanka. That's why Sri Lanka is very important. In the king's time, Buddha's teaching would carry the monk by heart, memorizing. Then, and one point when that language writing system start, the Buddhist teaching also in Sri Lankan monk wrote in the paper what that call the leaves. That leaves they written, and hardly they written, and they put into the caves and protect. And there's a many kind of attack from the India. The war happened, but that thing was remaining protected. And the recently when the PTS, Polytech Society, and Rhys Davies and Europeans went to the Sri Lanka, they discovered that kind of thing, they got the original teaching, the written in the paper, they put into the printing system. Now it is we know the original Buddha's teaching. The Sri Lankan monk in the king's day, they save it, they protect it. We are lucky have the original Buddha's teaching.
And also Buddha's relics were also in Sri Lanka. That how did it get there?
Plenty. The Buddha's two tooth relics in Sri Lanka. One in Polonnaruwa Somawati, one other one is in Kandy, Dalada Maligaon. And not only for that, in the called Swarnamali Chaita, that Anuradhapura Ruangeli side, that the big basket of the Buddha's relics and put inside, and that's why it's very powerful, that place. Buddha's many relics around the country, the people respecting and keeping puja and respect the Buddha. That's why the kind of spiritual power we feel it. And not only the Buddha's relics, more noble Arahat Sangha like Sariputta Mogan, the Sivali, and other Arahat Sanghas relics also all around the world. And many relics remaining in Sri Lanka. That's kind of spiritual power. I feel it when I go once in a while.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Bhante. My next question is, Bhante, after Buddha, since Sri Lanka is very rich in Buddhism and there has been following in Buddhism for a long time, after Buddha, whom do we read or look for? I mean, for those like Buddhist saints and Buddhist enlightened people, after Buddha, who are the most respected and who are the most enlightened Bhante monk or in Sri Lanka's history?
Oh, Sri Lankan history, even the Buddha's time, in the many the landscape side and very well in caves and mountain very well. Even though Venerable Mahakassapa used to come with the around 500 his students together, enlightened monks, and they were used to come like Dibulagla, this kind of place in Polonnaruwa district, and the sort of that kind of places, many Arahant monk Buddha's time also time to time they came and meditate that caves and the place is very naturally very greeneries, and they spend over there. And after the Buddha's time, some other Arahat monk, Venerable Mahinda, who is Emperor Asoka's son and daughter, and monks and nuns, time to time came to Sri Lanka. They were living, actually they ordained Sri Lankan people, nuns and monks and men and women, both. And as a result, nunnery and Buddhist monks monasteries were established in the Anuradhapura kingdom time. And after the Venerable Mahinda's arriving, he trained the Sri Lankan monks and learning the Dhamma, learning the Pali language, the monastery, and that called Mahavihara, a big temple that called Anuradhapura Mahavihara. And then later on, kingdom is moving to the another places that also monks also were there. Then that become Sri Lankan monks who carry on and until today.
Yeah, that's great, Bhante. Now I have a couple more questions, Bhante. Bhante has been here for more than 30 years, and I think almost 40 years in USA. And it will be very interesting. The Buddhism has been spread around the world, but I would like to ask, how is the following in North America? And also a little bit about South America. How is Buddhism spread in North America, like USA and Canada? And how is it in, I know like even in Africa, Buddhism has been the practice, but what about especially on North America and a little bit on South America?
Well, fortunately, the Buddhism for this land, North America, Lama, Tibetan Lama, brought to the Buddhism first, this country. And they dedicate, they work hard. Nima Foundation and other kind of Tibetan tradition established around here, Colorado, California, San Francisco and Washington, that area. It is very easy to us to come after them because they have, the Americans had a good idea Buddhism. Then when we come to here, that easy. When I come early 80 and no much temples around here. Now Thai, so many Thai temples in North America. Cambodian temple, Laosian temple, Burmese temple, Vietnamese temple, few Nepalian temple, and Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Tibetan, all kind of temple around this city and many cities. And Sri Lankan temple, those days when I come early 80, around 5-6 temples. So Washington Buddhist Vihara, Los Angeles Buddhist Vihara and something like that, Canada, Toronto Buddhist Vihara, something like that. Now over 100 Sri Lankan temple, even though California around 15 Sri Lankan Buddhist temples, and Canada also around 10-15 temples going on. Toronto, not only Toronto, other cities also, and this area also, Maryland, 4 Sri Lankan temples around here, and Virginia, Florida, New York, and Boston, everywhere. Almost every state, at least one Sri Lankan Buddhist temple. That's very fortunate having not only Sri Lankan, American and other South Asian helping them and to maintain the temples. This is very good thing, and we can see the future rather than our back home. Here going to be have more monks and activities in the Buddhist practice.
Bhante has not only established Militant Buddhist Bihar, but also has established two temples in Texas, on Austin and other cities. So I would just like to know briefly on those, how you got a chance to establish those two temples.
When I was here, and one of my friends and devotees came purposefully here and requested me to come and help them to start the Sri Lankan Buddhist temple in Austin area. I went there, and traveling is take a little time, and flying every week, something like that. And those days I was teaching in the State Department, Sri Lankan language teacher, and I helped them, and there's 2 temples right now built up, paid off the mortgage. But here I pay the mortgage yet, but over there that much they are rich enough to the devotees to pay off the mortgage and everything. And one temple in Austin, and that is continue very well, and they are the other some Sri Lankan monks taking care of it, and occasionally I visited them. They are very nice people, very good helping for the temple. Other temple also, one rich family start one temple, they split, they kind of problem family or kind of thing. Then they ask again one more temple. Then 20-30 miles away from the original temple, other temple start for them. That also going on very well. Some other Sri Lankan monks taking care of it also. And both temples are very successfully going on. And occasionally I visited them, and I must just help them to start the temple. Otherwise I don't have any connection. I take care here, even though my teacher asked me to come to West Virginia Meditation Center. But the thing is, Marylanders, and they know me around 40 years, and they don't want me to move anywhere else. So, however, I take care of this place and visiting many places time to time, many states, sometimes over state too. I going there and teach the Dhamma, whatever they convenient. Yes.
That's wonderful, Bhante. Now we are at the end of the interview. And my last question is, Buddhism is practiced in different ways, like different branches or different sects, and those different branches of Buddhism, how do they coordinate with each other?
And mainly two schools we call Theravada, Mahayana. And Theravada is a traditional, like Indian Buddhism we call, and mainly 5 countries Theravada Buddhism, including we are from Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Laos, Thai, and Burmese. That they are practiced Theravada tradition, which is ancient time the Buddha's traditional teaching. They don't change much thing, like the robe and serving here or kind of thing, the same system. But after Tibetan, the Mahayana Buddhism, Tibet is a Vajrayana, Mahayana both, and Mahayana Buddhism existing in the China and Vietnam, Cambodia, Russia, and Korea, and all that.
Japan also?
Japan also, yes. And there's a different schools, like Christianity, there's so many schools, are different schools, but that called modern Buddhism. They modified according to their language, according to their geographical location, and their culture, they change it. And that's why the modern Buddhism. And but they also believe the same Buddha, but they thinking only the problem is Buddha is enlightened, Bodhisattva is important than enlightened Buddha. That kind of concept they have, most of they have with Mahayana Buddhism. But Theravada Buddhism, Bodhisattva is not enlightened, so therefore Theravada tradition, Buddha is important, enlightened Buddha is important. That's why we celebrate. There's mainly 2 different schools, and actually 3 different schools: Mahayana, Theravada, and Vajrayana. And Tibet has a lot of mantra and kind of things. That's why the Vajrayana. So there's a differences, but still. And in the Washington area, I work with everybody together, interfaith meeting and Buddhist religious, like Buddha's birthday time happen, we all pay together. Our temple, somewhere else, someone else's temple, we keep prayers and chanting and celebration. We do that together with the Mahayana, Theravada, Vajrayana together. No trouble at all. We are very happy to keep one umbrella.
Yeah, that's a very nice way to end the interview. Before we conclude, Bhante, we are at the end. I would like to ask you for chanting one more time. Before that, you would like to give to our viewers of Nepalbhasa Times any message, general message that you would like to give before we close the interview.
Buddha is a Sakya Putta, and we are very proud. Our Lord Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, birthplace happened in Lumbini, and it's a remarkable place, very holy place, and people who Buddha's relative in Nepal, we very respect, and you are very fortunate people who brought the Buddha to the world, and as a result, so many people did every day enjoying, having peaceful life, and the Gautama the Buddha's teaching, we really respect and we really appreciate you are keeping up Buddha's land and Buddha's teaching and the peace to the world, and continue his teaching, and that's a very good thing. I really happy, and I'm making blessing for the open the Buddha's teaching. Once someone who learn the Buddha's teaching, he can see the Buddha, but not Buddha image. Buddha, who is the Buddha, you can learn whenever you learn Buddha's teaching. And please study Buddha's teaching, practice Buddha's teaching. That may be your peace of life and happy life to until liberate from sansaric suffering. You can keep up your practice. Thank you so much. You giving Praveen and rest of the crew members and helping for broadcasting this things for the Buddhist discussions. I'm very happy, very proud about you. I keep in my blessing for all of you. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavat vantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang Rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang Rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. May you be well, happy and peaceful with the power of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bhante. I would like to make some announcement before we end the interview. We have on February 1st Nepalbhasa short film show by Nepalbhasa Puja Americae at Flower Hill Community Center on February 1st, Saturday. And we also have on April 18th Vasundhara Vrata Sadhana at NECC Bealsville, Maryland, organized by America Nepal Paramparagat Bauddha Dharma Sangh. And also Neva Organization of America is also organizing Nepalbhasa short film show. And also the last one is on April 25th, Nepalbhasa Puja America is organizing 12th Eid ceremony at Hare Krishna Temple. And for today's interview program, we are very grateful to two businesses, Photo Bank, Tandoori Nights, and also the support from Saroj Prajapati, Alan Maharjan, Rajesh Lal Shrestha, and very helpful suggestions from Ani Aileen and Keith Featherman. Also, today our technical support is from Markandeya Mansingh Pradhan. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bhante.